Hi, I'm Michael Senoff, founder and CEO of HardToFindSeminars.com. For the last 5 years, I've interviewed the world's best business and marketing minds. Now my challenge is to build the world's largest free resource for online, downloadable audio business interviews. I've learned a lot in the last 5 years, and today I'm going to show you the skills you need to survive.
Most everybody copies everyone. They don't have the courage to be original or to try new things because they just think if someone else is doing it, that it must be working, so they'll copy what other people are doing. So there's very few people out there really playing the game and trying to be original. Everyone has great ideas, but they discount them. That little voice inside them says, nah, that's not going to work, or they hear their mom saying, that's a stupid idea, and they bury it. But one thing I've learned, when I get an idea that pops in my head, I will capture it, and especially if I have a hunch on something, I will just not even think about it, and I will do it.
I had a few questions for you. I know you're real successful at what you do. I'm curious, do you make all your money through the internet, or is there any percentage of business that you do offline?
Most of my income is somehow related to something online. I have a stream of different incomes, and it goes into my main sources of income is buying and reselling high-end marketing seminars like the J. Abraham products, and you've seen at my website, HardToFindSeminars.com, exactly what I do there. So I buy low and I sell high. It's as simple as that. And it's an item that is not readily available, and the only other place you can get it is either from J. Abraham himself, which you'll pay 10 to 20 times as much money on some of the items, not all of the items. So I make money that way, and then I have a pen manufacturing business that I've been doing since 1996, which you can read about in my bio at HardToFindSeminars.com, and I think you read through it.
Yeah, I read through some of it. It was pretty good stuff.
Just got a call from J.C. Penney's, and this is one of my pen products. It's an invisible ink marking pen, and he found me through the internet, and J.C. Penney's is doing a promotion where they're giving out these gift certificates to all their jewelry buyers, and then the jewelry buyers have to come in with a certificate, and they can redeem it for either a piece of jewelry or some kind of discount, and they're taking my invisible ink pen and they're marking the back of these certificates, so when people come in, they can shine a UV light on them and make sure that they're genuine. So it's a fraud prevention program. I mean, the phone will ring every day with some new source of income that I never thought of. I'll give you another example. I've got a website called Hard to Find Ads. Did you go check out that website?
Yeah, I did. And again, I was going to tell you when I talked to you there, I'm running myself, that, I've never seen anything like it. I always hear about people, marketers, talking about how important it is to study the old archive collections, ancient materials.
Some of the stuff is all the way back to like 1910.
It was really, really the most shocking education I've got, to seeing how it almost looked like they were just from today. A lot of them, it's like, they were doing the same stuff.
Well, that's right, because you and I both know human emotions don't change. They're the same as when we were cavemen and cavewomen. People buy for the same reasons. We're all the same, and we've always been the same all throughout time. So that's why a successful ad from back in 1910 or 1920, one that is successful and one that's written by someone who knows what they're doing, will work today.
Now, where do you get all those ads from?
Various number of sources. At HardToFindAds.com website all started when I was on eBay. I've always looked for old ads because old ads are like a combination to a safe. If an old ad was successful in 1920 selling a diet product, I've got a copywriter who has probably spent many, many hours in researching the diet market and selling a diet product to someone back in the 1920s. Well, that same effort and work and time and editing and re-editing and writing and rewriting, I get to have it for nothing, and then I can use that ad if I ever wanted to promote a diet product or a diet-related product. Those words, those combination of words that have been tested in publications over and over again and refined over and over again could work today. That's like buying thousands and thousands of dollars in hundreds of hours worth of labor of an advertising firm's final product.
Yeah, well, I had a theory while kind of looking through your ad archives there, the older ones, that you often hear people say, look to see what ads are repeated over and over, and so people aren't just wasting their time. Those ones that you see repeated over and over are the ones that are pulling in the most dollars and making people millionaires. And so I realized that, wow, this is the longest term tracking method there is. For instance, I'll buy an issue of Entrepreneur Magazine and I'll wait 6 months or so to buy another issue and then compare what's still in there in that 6 month interval to see what guy is still making enough money to support his ad. And then I realized I could do that in the real long term using your website, because I looked at it going, look at some of these ads that I'm still seeing them today, even in Entrepreneur Magazine or some home business magazine, and I'm realizing that has got to be proof right there that these certain types of ads that I'm seeing on your site are definitely winners. They've lasted for over 100 years, and so what better proof of a good ad than that?
Yeah, it's really incredible. It's amazing to see the influence that advertising has on our life. I'm looking right now, I'm sitting in my office, and I'm staring at this little carpet sweeper. It's called a Bissell carpet sweeper. It's called the Go. Now, this is a little kind of a mini one that plugs in and charges up, and everyone knows what a carpet sweeper is, but this thing it's 2004 now. Now, the Bissell was put on the map by a man named Claude Hopkins, and Claude Hopkins is regarded as one of the greatest copywriters of all time. And in his earlier career, he worked with Bissell and promoted their carpet sweepers through some incredible and ingenious ways, which you can read about in his book called My Life in Advertising. And if it weren't for Claude Hopkins, back in 1907, I think is when he worked for Bissell, I wouldn't be looking at this box.
That's incredible.
And the same thing goes for many things in your home today, like your Quaker Oats and your Palmolive soap. Pepsodent was one of the first major toothpaste, and it was all done by Claude Hopkins. His research in finding the correct appeal to promote a toothpaste. And back then, toothpaste wasn't something that people normally did, so he had a lot tougher job than what the toothpaste manufacturers have to do today. He had to sell people on the idea that it was a good idea to use a toothpaste on your teeth to remove that film. And those are the key words, that film.
Oh.
He learned this through going through masses and masses of research about tooth decay and plaque and all that stuff. And we owe it to him as being somewhat the founder of the toothpaste industry. I think back to your question, you had asked me, how did I get started? And it all kind of started where I found on eBay there was someone selling a collection of Reader's Digest magazines. And they were from 1930 to 1960, and I bought them all for about $500. And they were all shipped in these big boxes to me, and I just started pouring through them, looking at all the ads. It was just incredible.
You mentioned you have also, there's a book I remember you recommended by, was it Denny Hatch or something like that?
Dennis and Hatch, yeah.
Hatch? Well, you were saying that has a lot of archives. Is that the same sort of thing, or is there more that you can find, like on your site, for instance?
Well, Denny Hatch, he's got a couple different websites. His book, I think, was called Who's Mailing What. He kind of does something similar. He's been doing it a lot longer than I have. He has a service where he has archived tens of thousands of direct mail letters, direct mail pieces. And so let's say you're a company and you want to create a direct mail package for a marketing seminar. Well, you can call Dennis and Hatch and access his archives, and for $50 or $60, he'll fax you the entire direct mail piece that Jay Abraham used to promote Mastermind Marketing Program.
Hi, it's Michael Senoff with HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. You know, many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at HardToFindSeminars.com. So go right now to HardToFindSeminars.com, and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching.